Look, I'm a big fan of technology and a big fan of the DMV using that technology to make it much more easier for customers. So I applaud the intent. I just to have some concerns about the actualization of it very quickly, with courtesy to finance, and then a follow-up with LAO.
Just wanted to echo some of the points that DMV made, that while this proposal does score some small savings in the short time frame of this project, those 8 PYs that we're scoring towards Real ID, looking forward, the real efficiencies are going to be gained as we reduce the pressure on, as we said, the brick and mortar field offices, and reducing the expansion of those offices in the future as the driving population of the state expands.
Thank you. And LAO have a final comment given the discussion.
Sure. In terms of the potential level of savings that we identified could be significantly higher than the 8 PYs that has been identified by DMV, potentially into the low tens of millions of dollars, given the level of transactions that DMV is estimating here, which would more than offset the cost increase of paying the vendor transaction fee. And so we think that that's really important information for the legislature to have. Without going into too much detail, the estimate of 30%. Right now, the self-service terminals are located inside of field offices, and so these are customers who are coming into the field office, and so the assumption that only 30% of them are being redirected is maybe undercounting it. If they're already there in the field office, it's probably because they came into the field office to actually conduct their transaction. And then because it is quicker for them, they're being redirected to that self-service terminal inside of the office. And so we think that that approach probably is undercounting the potential savings. And this is really just an opportunity where the legislature is going to want this information to weigh in. You may decide that you agree with DMV's approach and that rather than capturing those savings, you want to expand the level of service, but you may want to capture those savings, or you may want to split the difference and not have the costs go up but provide somewhat increased service. And so we think that there's options there, and you really need that information to make that decision, and the augmentation we think is just not supported.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'd move to hold this item open rather than take action today.
Okay, we don't need to take a vote to do that, and I'm okay holding this open. I would only add one comment, and that is to the director. I think the director knows in reading the staff report that the staff recommendation comes from a place of truly complimenting the Department of Motor Vehicles for its success in implementing business technology. And really, I've said this before, I think that the department is really a model of good customer service and efficiency. And I don't think it should be lost on anyone. Holding this open will allow us some additional time to evaluate the comments that we've heard today from LAO and others, and so we'll go ahead and do that. Thank you. So that closes out the Department of Motor Vehicles presentations. Oh, you're coming back. Actually, you'll be staying here because we've got Caltrans coming up to help with the next presentation, and that is issue 6, the construction and maintenance zone enforcement funding. Shall we start with Department of Finance on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Mark Tollefson, Department of Finance. The proposal before you is a shift of $50 million in CHP's budget that arose from our research as part of the development of the governor's transportation package. Mechanically, the shift reduces $50 million in reimbursement authority related to CHP's presence at Caltrans work sites, and instead provides a $50 million augmentation from the motor vehicle account to fund these activities. There's really 3 benefits that we see from doing this. The first, it creates administrative efficiencies for both Caltrans and the CHP. It will also free up $50 million in state highway account resources. And lastly, it will eliminate a long-standing cash flow issue that CHP faces as a result of these reimbursements. Historically, CHP has to reserve about $9 to $10 million MBA authority while it waits for these reimbursements to materialize. We'll note that the proposal does nothing to change the way that services are currently provided. Caltrans would still be responsible for determining the CHP need at their work sites, and new MOUs would be put in place for activities up to the $50 million provided. Services above and beyond the $50 million would be handled through reimbursements from Caltrans. I'd also like to take the opportunity to address a couple of the concerns raised in the staff comments. The first of which is that this will kind of lead to a continuation of the structural imbalance in the MVA. We will note in the item that you discussed previously, this shift had been included in our fee proposal. Secondly, there are concerns raised regarding liability. Because the construct of the program remains the same, we actually don't believe that there would be any increased liability for either department as a result of this proposal.
Thank you. Elio?
We have some concerns with the proposal. In particular, as was described by Mr. Tollefson, under the proposal, currently Caltrans determines when these services are needed. Their services directly related to their highway construction projects, and they are responsible for paying for these services. Under the proposal, basically the decision of when the services are needed and the responsibility for paying for these services would no longer be linked. And we think that that doesn't create the right set of incentives. You typically want to have the department or the entity that is responsible for determining the level of service to also have the responsibility for paying for it to ensure that they will be making the most efficient decisions possible in terms of when services are needed. In addition, the proposal seems somewhat problematic that you would have the first $50 million of services being paid through one approach, but the fund shift would not extend to services that are required beyond that. We recommend rejecting the fund shift and just retaining the current structure of having these paid for by Caltrans. That would also facilitate an easier process for Caltrans to ensure that they're fully accounting for the cost of their projects instead of shifting some of the costs into CHP's budget.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Well, the department thinks this is a very important program. I mean, this is our primary work zone enforcement for safety of both our workers, the traveling public, and contractors that work in our work zone. So we welcome this funding, and we continue to feel like we will work with the CHP to make sure the services are provided accordingly.
All right. Is there any public comment on this item?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Aaron Reed, representing the California Association of Highway Patrolmen. We agree with the comments made by the legislative analysts. We think this fund shift is inappropriate. It would amount to really potentially in the future a blank check. The fact that they say it's limited to the first $50 million makes me wonder when they're going to move that goal line further out and make the Highway Patrol consistently pay for all of those activities. Right now, the decision that Caltrans makes is based on their data, accident rates, whether it's at night, the difficulty of the construction project, and that's their task to make that decision. But they would have a blank check asking the Highway Patrol to pay for it out of their own budget. And we're already short budgeted. And I want to respectfully say to the Department of Finance, the $10 increase is barely sufficient to get us out of the insolvency that we face 1 year from now in the motor vehicle account. It accounts for about $340 million, and the insolvency, they project a deficit of about $400 million. So we'll have to revisit the MVA account probably in another 2 years once we've adopted the $10 increase. But we respectfully hope you reject this proposal.
Thank you. Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, I'm inclined to reject this proposal. It feels to me like keeping the responsibility for paying for these activities with Caltrans, I think, is appropriate. I mean, Otherwise, it feels like we're shifting and opening up a blank checkbook that can be used. I would rather see Highway Patrol activities doing patrol. I get the reason for having officers located for safety and construction, but I think that's a construction cost and ought to be paid for by Caltrans. So.
Mr. Williams.
I'd agree with that. I think that it is a natural check and balance to have Caltrans held responsible for the cost. If Caltrans is not held responsible to the cost, you really have no check and balance. They will. When you have something like safety, there's unlimited need for safety, right? And with the system as it is, Caltrans has to pick and choose how much they want to utilize that because they do not have unlimited funds. So I think that having the check and balance is important, and I think we should reject this.
Mr. Patterson.
I'm going to echo the general consensus, I think, here, but it would be appropriate for, I think, this committee to thank the Highway Patrol for the public safety services that they provide. And I just wanted to know how much I appreciate what they do. I think the unintended consequence here could very well be that there would be a shift from patrol and safety to construction sites. I appreciate the checks and balances as well, but I would just as soon see having as many of our Highway Patrol folks in our cities and our counties doing the fundamental things that they do. And if there is a construction cost, then let that be absorbed in the construction operation.
I'd move to reject the proposal.
All right, and I'll just add a quick comment. I can see where the votes are here, and I don't have an issue with going that direction, but I wonder when the last time is, and it may have been very recent. I just don't have that information in front of me. When we reviewed best practices in providing safety and construction zones. This is an issue that arises all over the world. We're not unique in that, and so I would look forward to, not today, but receiving that information at some time in the near future. And if we need to do some work in that regard and take a look at reviewing best practices, then that is something that we should be doing because it's a very important issue. It's sadly not that uncommon where we have accidents in construction zones, sometimes with very, very severe consequences. With that, we'll move to a vote.
Bloom?
Aye.
Bigelow? Gordon? Aye. Patterson? Aye. Williams?
Aye.
Thank you. Our next item is issue 7, the sticker program.
Good morning again. Brian Annis from the State Transportation Agency, and this issue covers a couple of the different departments within the agency, so I want to take the opportunity to speak on it a bit. First, let me mention some data on sales of low and zero-emission vehicles. Since 2011, approximately 430,000 zero-emission vehicles have been sold nationally. Of those, almost 200,000, or about 45%, have been sold in California. So the package of incentives and programs the legislature has enacted in California have been very successful in encouraging the purchase and use of these vehicles. The administration sees the green and white sticker program for HOV access as important to continue progress made in encouraging zero-emission vehicle purchase and helping the state achieve greenhouse gas reduction goals. I'll also note that the United States Congress has been supportive of this program. The recent reauthorization of federal surface transportation programs, the FAST Act, extended programs for low and zero-emission vehicles. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take public comment if there's no other presentations.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Bloom, committee members. Rebecca Long with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. MTC has taken an opposed unless amended position on the administration's trailer bill language. And our concern is that we actually do believe that the rates of clean air vehicles on a lot of our HOV lanes is substantially higher than what the department has found. It really depends on the facility, but we are very concerned about the impact on HOV lanes. The Caltrans report on HOV lanes has found that over 50% of the lanes are degraded in terms of the speeds in the lanes. And as a frequent driver in the Bay Area, I do have to say I was on 880 last week, and literally it was going as slowly as the other lanes. There is no incentive right now in that lane to carpool. So we support the staff recommendation to adopt a modified version just so that the legislature can take more time to consider what is a substantial policy proposal in both the chairman's bill as well. Thank you.
Awkward at best. Yeah. Gene Urban on behalf of the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers. I may take just a moment, Mr. Chairman. We are compelled by existing law to sell 15% ZEVs in the year 2025. We are committed to that. 2 million new cars were sold last year in the state of California. That's 300,000. Do the math. If 3 million are sold in 2025, that would be 450,000 more than have been sold since the beginning of the program. We believe stickers are vital to be able to sell these vehicles, particularly when the price of gasoline is stubbornly low. We support the governor's proposal. We have been working with Mr. Bloom on 1964. We also support this recommendation. It's vital that the existing cap on green stickers be lifted or eliminated. We are out of green stickers right now. It's also very, very important that we create the next generation of white and green sticker programs that would commence on 1/1/19. We need to know, this is a really successful public-private partnership between the manufacturers, the dealerships, and the state of California. But we need to begin to think today about the next generation of sticker programs that will exist 19, 20, 21, and beyond that. That's one of the principal purposes of your bill, Mr. Chairman. So we continue to strongly support elimination of the green stickers, and we are committed to working on continuation of the green sticker and white sticker programs beyond the current expiration date of 12/31/18. Thank you.
Julie Malinowski-Ball, on behalf of the California Electric Transportation Coalition, we do support the governor's proposal on this, but we will support the lifting of the cap of the green stickers only that the committee is proposing. We do this because we know we have the chairman's bill 1964 out there that can deal with both white and green stickers going forward. Thank you.
Mr. Chair and members, Ivan Altamura on behalf of Global Automakers. I would like to echo most of the comments that my colleague, Mr. Urban, made. I would like to add that Global Automakers is in strong support of the governor's trailer bill language as written. We do believe that we have to lift the cap on green stickers. We're already seeing an impact on sales in the state, having reached the limit on HOV green stickers. We do think that it is what we really like, too, about the governor's trailer bill language in regards to the white stickers is that it is simple and clear and provides a guarantee moving forward that this program is going to be in existence marching towards 2025 when we have to meet this ZEV mandate. We want to continue to work with the chair, and we appreciate your efforts as well on your bill, but we really are in strong support of the governor's trailer bill language as well. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members, Andrew Antwi here on behalf of General Motors. We as well support the governor's proposal as introduced. We appreciate the work that's been done to make sure there's certainty in the near term. There's also a question about what happens after 2019. We have great faith in the work that the chairman is doing through 1964 to create some certainty there. So going forward, we're happy to support this. We're hopeful for a good resolution if this item goes to conference. And the bottom line is we're in partnership with the state to meet the mandate. We're manufacturing. The certainty is very important. There's lead time that happens between when a car is conceived of and when it's in a showroom floor. So we support.
Jamie Kahn here on behalf of Nissan North America, and we support the governor's proposal, the idea that we have both the cap lifted on the green sticker program and an extension on the white sticker program. There is a difference between the hybrid electric vehicles that are the green sticker program and the purely electric vehicles, which are the white. So we would appreciate that the white sticker needs to be extended on its own. So we really support the governor's proposal, which we thought was a package deal, that they would lift the cap on the green and extend the white program as well. So we're interested and supportive of 1964, and but we'd like to see the governor's proposal go forward. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members, Mike Carpenter on behalf of Toyota. Concur wholeheartedly in the comments from global automakers and the Alliance. Toyota is absolutely committed to meeting the ZEV mandate, but this program is critical. It is a crucial element of helping us get there, so we strongly support the proposal.
Thank you. Let me add a quick comment. These programs are crucial. That's why I'm carrying legislation on them. If you take my legislation, the governor's proposal, existing law, and the recommendation that we have here, there's 4 different approaches to resolving this issue. If we adopt the staff recommendation today, what it really does is it creates some room for a conversation about resolving everything to continue to move forward, and that's why I'm in favor of the staff recommendation today. But I want folks to understand that we're engaged in a conversation. My bill is still a work in progress, and I'm confident we're going to be able to work out language. At least I hope we're going to be able to work out language that ultimately provides the best opportunity for continuing these programs. They are critical to our efforts in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, so it's important that we be successful. Is there a motion?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. And Mr. Williams.
One issue came up that I thought was interesting, which is whether we would be so successful that we fill up the carpool lanes. And you know, as you guys know, I drive electric cars, so I experience this sometimes. We don't have any carpool lanes in Santa Barbara, so I don't experience it there, but when I'm up here. That would be a sign of great success if we had enough ZEVs to fill up our carpool lanes throughout the state. That is not my experience. I do think you have this phenomena in the Bay Area at peak, at a narrow band of the most peak impacted areas that is sometimes similar. But I don't think that's true of most of the rest of the state, where you still have carpool lane capacity, excess carpool lane capacity for many times. I also think that maybe the best way to handle that would be better CHP enforcement of those carpool lanes, because cheating, in my experience, is a bigger problem than too many white and green stickers.
Thank you. Let's vote.
Bloom?
Aye.
Bigelow? Gordon? Aye. Patterson? Aye. Williams?
Aye.